When you walk in a room, do you immediately notice what's off? I mean, maybe it's the crooked picture frame. Okay. Or maybe it's a typo in an email or the way the new coffee place made your coffee, but not exactly like you would have liked to have had it done. I mean, maybe you can't help but notice every time your kid's T-ball coach appears to be winging it without any clear plan for practice or dugout management. Or maybe you can't help but notice that your spouse refuses to load the dishwasher the right way. Do you have a slight silent irritation that rises up every time your coworker shows up late to work? Now, you don't always say something. In fact, typically you sort of just stuff down the frustration, maybe give them a subtle disapproving glance, but internally there's a voice that's saying, that is not the right way to do that. All right, let me ask you this. Are you known as a person who can be counted on, responsible, full of integrity and follow through? I mean, if someone needs a system created or a process to be improved, do they call you? If any of this sounds familiar, stay tuned and say hello to Enneagram One. Welcome to Hello Enneagram, a summer series designed to help you know your number. If you've been confused about your type, if your Enneagram enthusiast second cousin has tried to tell you what you are, or if you've taken online tests but they don't seem to fit quite right, well, this series is designed to give you a simple and honest look at each Enneagram number and the core tenets that go beyond behavior based typing to the heart of the motivation. So, my goal here is to help give you the basics without overwhelming you. The Enneagram is meant to be taught and processed in community so that you can self identify your number. So, listen in, then jump to the comments and share what you're noticing in yourself or ask questions. My hope is that this helps you find your number. No test required, and no Enneagram enthusiast BFF trying to assign one to you. All right, let's get going, and I'll chat with you in the comment section. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this podcast, you're trying to learn more about the Enneagram One, often called the Reformer. You may wonder if you are an Enneagram Type One, or you may simply want to learn more about ones. Either way, I'm really glad you're here, and I know you'll find this episode extremely helpful. As you listen, be sure to share this with somebody else who needs to learn more about the responsible, organized, highly principled Enneagram ones. Now, you might be an Enneagram one if you have a strong inner sense of what's right and wrong, if you hold yourself and others to very high standards, if you replay conversations thinking, I should have said that better, if you feel responsible to improve things, systems, people, situations, and you struggle to relax because there's always something that could be done better. If you have a loud inner critic that is active in your thoughts most of the time, and here's the one people don't always see. You're not trying to be critical or difficult or judgmental. You're trying to be good. So let's talk about what's going on underneath all of this. Now, there are three centers of intelligence within every human being. We perceive, process, and respond to the world through thinking, feeling, and doing. That's the head, the heart, and the gut. For an Enneagram 1, the strongest center of intelligence is the gut or the instinct center, which means you have a strong intuition, a sense of knowing what needs to be done and how to do it. But yeah, here's the other thing. The weakest center of intelligence for an Enneagram 1 is the thinking center. So, this doesn't mean that you're not smart or able to think things through at a really detailed level. It simply means that your thinking center is also trying to protect you from doing it wrong. And so it filters everything through an inner voice that says, is this right? Is this good? I think it could be better. Is this correct? Over time, that voice becomes your inner critic. And it's not because you're harsh, it's because you care deeply about doing things well and doing more good in the world. I mean, at your core, what really drives you is you want to be a good person. You want to live with total integrity. You want to do things the right way. You want to be right. And you try to avoid personal fault and blame. Now, in real life, this might look like spending way too long drafting an email, maybe perfecting the tone or the messaging, or feeling really frustrated when other people cut corners because not just that it's inefficient, but I mean, it feels wrong. Or potentially, you can relate to lying in your bed, replaying the day, thinking about what you could have done better. I mean, becoming defensive and angry when someone questions your integrity or a job you've done incorrectly could be a clue. Ones tell me they feel like they're never done improving or reforming themselves, their homes, their parenting, their careers. Like it's just very hard for an Enneagram one to rest and stop listening to that inner critic and seeing all the ways that things could be improved. So, at your best, Enneagram ones are wise, fair, and incredibly grounded. Ones are self disciplined, honest, reliable, and detail oriented. So, if you're a one, you're an amazing organizer and you can bring order to chaos quickly. People trust you. These are the above the line qualities of an Enneagram one. But under pressure, it's easy to fall below the line. The inner critic starts getting louder. You notice irritation turning to anger just beneath the surface all the time. And you might become more rigid and demanding, more critical of yourself and other people, might get more frustrated that people are not doing things the right way. Now, people might say when you're under stress that you're being preachy or bossy, but internally it just feels like no matter what I do, it's not good enough. If you look at the Enneagram drawing, you'll notice that there are two lines connected to your number. One line shows you where the number moves in times of stress. The other line shows you where the number moves when the person is feeling very secure in themselves and their environment. So, for the Enneagram one, when life gets very stressful, ones will find themselves moving toward the energy and the behavior of a type 4. Now, it's important to note that one does not become their stress or their secure number, but that their energy and behavior will look and feel like that number. So, a one under stress might become more emotional, isolated, and withdrawn. Their desire to do things kind of shuts down, and it can be hard to stay motivated. Now, as a one under stress, you want to be on the lookout for those feelings of, I'm the only one. No one understands me. That's your stress numbers talking. So, now let's talk about the other line. When a one is feeling grounded and secure, they move towards the energy of a type 7, which means they relax and they don't have to have things perfectly in place to have fun. They become more playful and spontaneous, more flexible. Ones become carefree, open to adventure, risk, and indulgence. Ones tell me they often feel like they have somewhat of a split personality because they can feel and act so differently on vacation or within their safest spaces. And this is simply them accessing that secure number. So, if you're wondering if you might be an Enneagram 1, ask yourself, do I feel a strong internal pressure to do things the right way? Do I get frustrated when things are inefficient, messy, unethical, or careless? Do I have an inner voice that is constantly evaluating and wanting to improve things? Do I sense a consistent irritation with the world that is kind of always stuffed down? If what we've talked about today resonates with you and you're thinking, I just might be an Enneagram 1. Don't rush to label yourself just yet. Listen to a few more types, pay attention to what motivates you, what's beneath the surface of your behavior. And for more help knowing your number, grab my free mini course, Hello Enneagram, in the show notes. It includes details about each number, worksheets, and interviews with people of each type. Now, people tell me when they hear real people talk about what it feels like to be in their number, it's tremendously helpful. And that's one of my favorite parts of the Hello Enneagram course. Okay, that's a wrap for Enneagram 1. Let me know right now in the comments what resonated with you and what questions do you have? I'd love to hear from you. Before we go, I just want to say thank you for being here. I know how valuable your time is, and I don't take lightly when you choose to spend it with me. So I hope you'll like, subscribe, follow so that you don't miss any of our episodes in this series or the ones to come.